How you doing, everybody? I'm Andy Malfrina. This is Drag the Lake. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're new to the channel, what we're doing right here is a full album reaction. Some people, they listen to it on their own. They figure it out in private. I don't do that. I show you my goddamn work so you can know I'm the real fucking deal. I give you the good, uncut review. And also, we get to listen to the album together, and I think that's fun. Thanks for coming here and hanging out with me. I do these every week. Normally, we do a whole band's discography. We're taking a little bit of break from that, but we'll be back on that tip soon. In the meantime, we're doing more current music. More current music? Whatever, I said it. I don't edit these. We're doing current music, so that means we're talking about You Won't Go Before You're Supposed To by Knocked Loose. It's a long title. I keep forgetting it. You Won't Go Before You're Supposed To by Knocked Loose. Very anticipated album for me and everyone in general. I saw the hype around it was very real. There has been a new influx of fans, and I'm not sure. I did a whole video on it, so I'm not going to completely retread it. But with it's the catch-22. I personally, I love when these bands get popular. I like when they get big. Playing in bands is a tough deal. You don't make a lot of money, so when bands start to get big and they get popular, they make money. And I'm happy for the bands, but at the same time, you do get an influx of a new crop of fans who, the bigger they get, the more superficial the fans. You get a lot of those fans who are just like, hey, what's that? They find these bands who've been established for years, who have like a hardcore fan base and this and that, and they're kind of sitting here going like, hey, is that a personality that I could steal? Can I steal that personality? And then, and you get like a lot of cringy stuff. You get a lot of fucking TikToks and this and that. We already went through that wave with the SpongeBob shit, which some of that's, you know what it is? Some of that's fun, and then it just with the way the internet is now, you get like do you guys remember, I'm gonna take a quick sidestep, but like, do you remember like Gangnam Style? I don't know if some of you guys are old enough to remember that, but that was like the glory days of shit going viral. Cause like Gangnam Style comes out, and we were just having fun with them. It was just party. It was just Party City. It was just a store we always love to go. It was just Party City, and then there's like a tipping point when like everyone starts doing it, everyone's referencing it. It feels less organic, and there's just a tipping point where it fucking dips, and then everyone just wants nothing fucking to do with it. And if you guys remember, Gangnam Style was, now that motherfucker's still the biggest artist in the world in like Korea or wherever it was. I believe it was South Korea, definitely not North Korea. But then there's like a tipping point where people just start not giving a fuck about it anymore, and they want to move on to the next thing. And that you used to be able to vibe out on a thing for a good couple months. Now, like, someone figures out a new joke, and by the afternoon, Elon's tweeting it, and you're like, okay, it's done. A thing that used to last us months. By the time you get out of work, Elon's already fucking tweeting about it. And if Elon's tweeting about it, besides the reply guys who are in there like, oh, great joke, Elon. I'd love to suck your dick in your car, sir. It's done. And so guess what I'm trying to get at is like, you see that with a little bit of Knocked Loose, like especially too when they put out the reggaeton beat, which I guess it was, but also it's just a drum beat. You guys can calm down. It's like you see a bunch of people online being like, reggaeton core is the new genre. You're like, they did a beat for fucking 8 measures. Calm down. So I did see a little bit of an influx of that, but I gotta be perfectly honest. There were a little flare-ups, but it wasn't overbearing. And I think that just comes with the fact that Knocked Loose is such a genuinely good band. They're just and like people, I don't know what it is exactly. Like I'm feeling this opinion, but I don't know if I don't know if I've like out loud articulated it really. So I'm sort of like figuring this out in real time, but there is something that happens where you get like where there's these bands that pop off where their quality will be like a 4. So there's something about them where I guess it's the popularity mixed with the ease of what's the word I'm looking for? not regulation, replication. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, so you have something that's good and popular, but it's easy replicated. I think the thing with Knocked Loose is it's not, like, this whole thing's not easily replicated. Like, what they're doing is, a lot of people go, I know I like this, but they're not necessarily quick to be like, what is it specifically about it? Because it's like, that's the fun thing about this band, and we'll, as we go through this album, we'll start to notice on these songs, you know, they put that extra little oomph into everything. They're more than just, it's more than just here's a bunch of good fucking hardcore songs. They're like, they're kind of moving into a broader direction. It's very interesting. We'll see it when we go through the album, but I've listened to this album a couple times already, and I've already noticed, like, they're really sit in the pocket of how I enjoy hearing bands progress, where they give you that, you know, they give you that nod to their original sound, but they've also audibly, you can hear, like, okay, they're transitioning into some new stuff, but it's not just, they're not just going to throw you into deep end on it. Because I personally don't enjoy when a band throws you into deep end on it, because it's kind of a subtle fuck you onto, like, why they got popular, and you're like, I kind of want to hear that thing that made you popular to me, you know? And, you know, I think a lot of people sort of, like, I always try to look at it this way. It's like if you went to this spot because they made the dopest pizza, then you showed up one day and they're like, we do Chinese food now. And you're like, I'm sure the Chinese food is good, but I kind of come here for, like, you got me hooked on pizza at this place. Where's the pizza? Like, can you just do the pizza? Like, I'm feeling that way because Childish Gambino just dropped. It's technically not a new thing, but it's the album he just dropped today when I'm recording this. It's a revamped version of this Untitled thing he put out in, like, I want to say 2018 or 2020, I forget when. And you listen to it and you're like, it's not bad, but, like, dude got me hooked on rapping. And he's just like, I'm not, like, even with the Funk album was good, but you got me hooked on your rapping, dude. So can we get some of that, man? Like, that's why when you go, hey, I got a thing, I go to check it out, because I'm like, you got me hooked on the rapping. So I go and I check and I say, is there any? And you're like, there's actually no rapping. Well, there is rapping, but I'm not going to do it. But, you know, so that's it's like that turns experiencing a band into a weird fucking thing where you're like, this isn't bad, but this isn't what this is not what you got me accustomed to. And, you know, that turns into more of an opinion thing. So for me, it kind of turns me off, and I'm not as big of a Childish Gambino fan. But for other people, they're like, we don't give a shit. We like this, so we're going to vibe out. But it's why I enjoy Knocked Loose so much, because they've had a very clear sort of, if you really listen to the albums, they've had this sort of slow, audible progression in a shifting of their sound without doing a full fucking skipping a couple steps and shit, which I like. And I think as a fan, it makes the journey a lot more fun. We'll notice while we listen to it that I think the first half of this album is real heavy on their old sound with a little, I know Blind Faith is towards the end, but then sort of the second half of this album turns into a presentation of this is where we're going. This is a great album, but it kind of feels like a transitional album going, we're not really I still think Knocked Loose in the future is going to do heavy ass breakdowns and stuff. I'd be shocked if on the next Knocked Loose album we don't get, as we're used to, we don't get a breakdown every song and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that's going to be a thing, but you can tell by later songs in this album, like, we're shifting into a new thing. Knocked Loose is like, hey, we had fun being the hardcore band, but what if the hardcore band packed arenas? You know, and you can kind of hear that influence. So enough of me yapping. Let's get the fuck into this. This first song is Thirst. Oh, is that going to be loud as fuck? Let's just turn it down, actually, in case it's loud as fuck. Where's this playing? Oh, no, it's in my headphones. The mix is just so good, it sounds like it's somewhere else. There we go. There we go. Thirst starting big right in the gate. I'll try not to be too long so we can hop right into this. I know I yapped for a while in the beginning of this. But yeah, Thirst out of the gate, real big. Sort of sound-wise encapsulating all the vibes on this album. And like actually right out of the gate, they give you a nod to this is gonna be a little bit of a different thing. We got the fucking 808 drop. Well, two big things. One, we got the 808 drop, which is not, I don't believe that's a thing we've ever heard. That stuck out hardcore to me the first time I heard it, just because I'm like, I don't think we've ever heard an 808 drop on a Knocked Loose song. So that's why it felt like such a big moment. And then he's not new to the band, but I think this is the first album he's actually recorded on. Their guitarist, the dude with the glasses, who's not Isaac. I apologize. I follow him on Twitter. He's a great Twitter follow. But I forget his. I want to say it's Nick. I apologize if that's not your name, dude. Also, you're probably not watching this, but if you are, I'm sorry, I forgot your name, dude. But yeah, he's been a great addition, and I do enjoy. I would say, throw him on the songs a little bit more, because that shit out of the gate. All right, you know what happened. I'm not. It's a short ass song, and I still can't find the part. But no, I like it. It almost, and this possibly will be the first ever comparison to Kendrick Lamar Knocked Loose has had. If it is, I'm honored. But if not, I'm not going to be pompous enough to think I am definitely the first. But there's a chance I'm the first. But this reminds me why Kendrick Lamar is such a fun listen. Besides that, he just he makes calling Drake a pedophile so fucking danceable. But besides that, no, you have if you listen to Kendrick Lamar, you have the many voices of Kendrick, where it'll be like aggressive rapping Kendrick. It'll be like soft, high pitch Kendrick. And then you'll have like crying Kendrick. And there's like one more. I haven't listened to his non-calling Drake a pedophile shit in a minute. But yeah, so you have the many voices of Kendrick. And I think that's a good thing to have in general especially for a hardcore band, where you have the beats you usually hit in a lot of these songs, which will be the breakdown, the two-step, and the fast circle pit part. And we're hitting a lot of breakdowns. Most hardcore songs got like 2 or 3 breakdowns in every song. So you have all these moments that are I said I was gonna be short. I won't. I don't know why I ever act like I'm ever short-winded on anything. I am not, ever. So going back to what I was saying initially is with hardcore songs, there's a lot of chances to have these sort of formulaic moments. So anything you can pull from to create a different sound than what you're used to. And if that is, you have Brian doing the high pitched voices, Isaac is more on the gutturals, which, we'll hear later, Brian is, getting more into the gutturals. And then possibly Nick. I should look up what the dude's name is if I'm going to keep referring to him. But then we have the other dude, Nick, probably him doing more of the straight yelling and just creating these different type of tones, just in general, whether it be lyrically, guitar-wise, drum-wise, which they did on that. Right out of the gate, we can hear the fucking, they they found the dodgeball. They gave us a little bit of an industrial dodgeball snare, which is a good time. I prefer what are the two? I prefer the dodgeball over the, I don't know what not the horseshoe, whatever that whatever metal thing they always reference. Because I don't listen to a lot of those. I don't listen to that music as much, so I'm not familiar with the memes and jokes in that community. But either way, and then just out of the bass drum sound, there's just a lot of, Knocked Loose, I've said this before, talking about their stuff before. Knocked Loose has a great attention to the little details, whether it be something as specific as the sound of the bass drum. You know what I mean? Something that a lot of bands could maybe look over or not spend enough time on. And they spend a lot more time on. They give it a little more, I don't know, it's kind of pairing up with the fact that they're going on tour with that they go, oh, I'm such an idiot. That's why I couldn't find the lyric part. I'm playing through piece by piece. Hell yeah. There's someone who noticed that earlier and was like, you dumb fuck. But yeah, maybe the dude's getting that wet open sound on his bass drum because they're going on tour with Slipknot, which that tour is fucking nuts. Pull up a poster later. That tour's nuts. Anyway, let's keep it moving piece by piece. So right here we see what I was bringing up earlier, which is much more of the general formula of what we've heard from Knocked Loose, where they kind of have the big intro, then they go right into the blast beat part. And I feel like on these first couple songs, we're going to hear that a little bit more so. Time is done! Still in I'm trying to fight it off! Oh shit, I looked it up. I was close. Not Nick. His name's Nico on rhythm guitar and vocals. I was close. That's where the N was in my head. It wasn't Nick, it was Nico. Damn. Sorry, Nico. But I can't hide from You know, this thought just popped into my head because on the second part, it actually sounded like Brian's voice got a little bit higher. But I'm very curious, people watching, what was your progression on liking his voice? Did you, because that is always, not so much anymore because everyone's so used to Knocked Loose and shit. But for people who are new to the band, and I guess I know for me when I was new to the band, I know for me initially, I heard his voice, and I was kind of like, eh. And then I probably heard, like, Counting Worms or something, and I go, that's the sickest shit ever. Yeah, it was Counting Worms, because I heard the guitar riff, and then I saw how they were doing it in the video, and I was like, get the fuck out of here. So that popped me pretty hard for that. And then listening to the music, it was a thing for a minute where I was like, music's great, you know, I don't mind the voice because the music's great. And then over time, you're just like, no, I think I like this. I think this is good. And you're just like, it's like my one buddy who's a wrestler told me this. He goes, it's how a lot of people talk about wrestling, where they just go, dude, there's different flavors of ice cream. You know, and I'm not trying to be the just let people enjoy things. I go, no. Those people suck ass. You know, we're allowed to be critical of shit that sucks ass. Like, I talked about it before. You see people doing Beyblades or Magic the Gathering in the pit. It's not, let's just let people enjoy. No, those people suck ass, and I don't want, this isn't a call to violence. I would never do that. But, you know, if they get hit with an errant spin kick, am I going to giggle? Who knows? Yes, I will. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there's a difference. There's shit that's just blatantly fucking annoying, and it's the attention shit. It's the attention shit. But if you're just a band being like, this is what we got and this is what we love, that, you know, that's some ice cream. And, you know, you may not enjoy that ice cream, but you got to respect the fact that other people like that ice cream. I'm noticing on this song too, while it does feel a little bit more like a classic Knock Loose song, they are becoming better songwriters and kind of honing in on their thing, because they don't really stick to your typical verse, chorus, bridge, chorus that a lot of bands do. They sort of they kind of do what feels right. There's a few of their songs that follow a pattern. I think they follow a pattern with the chord progressions, but I think generally speaking, a lot of their songs just kind of go in directions that feel right. And on earlier albums, those had a tendency to feel a little bit random, but, this two-step part's pretty sick, or this breakdown's pretty sick, so I'm not going to get overly critical of their songwriting. But, if you listen right here, there is a higher attention to detail on the songwriting, and it seems a bit more streamlined. Like before we had something that was great, but it was a little bit messy and a little all over the place. This feels like they got a lot better at songwriting and streamlined it a little bit more. Hell yeah. Oh, and we're going into the big one. The reggaeton song. Suffocate. Funny thing I wanted to mention about... Sorry, this is going to be super specific and autistic, but I was laughing... And I got no beef with Poppy. I like Poppy. Poppy rules. I haven't heard a lot of her shit, but I know she helps do shit for NXT, which is a wrestling promotion, a part of WWE. I'm a big wrestling fan. Any of these musicians that fuck with WWE, I fuck with. Like, I didn't give a fuck about Bad Bunny, but he showed up and he did a pretty cool swan dive. So I fuck with Bad Bunny. You got a problem with Bad Bunny, you got a problem with Andy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a mark. So if you fuck with wrestling, I fuck with you. All that being said, I just remember, I think they were at it was the music festival where it was like the first time they ever played this song live. And it was just cracking me up the way people let their emotions get in the way of a logical argument. And it makes me laugh so I guess they did the song and you watch the video and, I'm sure I've heard her live on WWE and she fucking kills it. I'm sure she's killed it 1,000 times. But that particular day, it just didn't have the oomph that it had on the song. And you saw a bunch of people being like, hey, you're watching on a cell phone, the mix might not be da-da-da. And you're like, I don't know. I heard Brian in the clip and he sounded good. It's just this funny. And I'm not even like shitting on her because you're allowed to have a bad fucking day. If someone recorded video of every single stand-up set I had, you'd have a lot of footage of me doing a very bad job. And I'm not saying Poppy did a very bad job. I liked it, but it didn't have the oomph that the track had. And just people's arguments for it. It goes back to like there's literally this new standard of argument that is on the same level of like, just shut up. And you're like, no, I'm on fucking Twitter. This is where we're supposed to be autistic and argue about everything, you fucking idiot. It's Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, if we were at a party, or if we were in the car, and I'm playing this song, and you're like, she didn't do this that well at Lollapalooza, I'd be like, shut up. But if we're on the fucking autistic arguing app, if we're on the autistic arguing app, like, yeah, I don't know, let's point shit out. Let's be critical of talented people. That's what the internet's for. That's what this YouTube channel is, baby. Let's be critical of talented people. Anyway, I like this song a lot. Let's listen to the reggaeton sensation that is Knock Loose featuring Poppy. I'm going to run that back. That riff goes hard. I enjoy that riff. So grimy. I also like, too, hearing the juxtaposition of the two guitars, where that one right there has a little bit more treble and less bass, but then you bring in the rhythm guitar to sort of fill out everything. Just kind of hearing the two distinct sounds is a cool thing to kind of, you know, just like sink your teeth in on. I don't know what I was getting to.
Suffocate! Eclipse and lies! Shine out by every mistake! The winds will wash your cries in the storm of your restless face! Watching pride move on your mind! Are you conscious behind the knife? Or is it just another disguise? Take them by!
So I like this part a lot because it's like the first big nod to sort of a less hardcore shift for Knocked Loose's sound, which I'm not sitting. I want to make it very clear. I predict Knocked Loose always having the hardcore essence. I think they're just going forward. They're just probably gonna have a more evolved sound that is just gonna end up being a lot more mainstream and shit like that. I think that's I think. I predict Knocked Loose just, you know, I'm not saying like, you know, maybe the next album, it's not, you know, we're going to listen to that and still rather hear this album or what's the EP called again? I always forget what the EP is called. Tearing the Fabric of Life. I was about to say Tearing the Fabric of Time. But yeah, you know, maybe the next album comes out and we're like, this is good, but I'd still rather listen to a Tearing the Fabric of Life. But I don't think like, you know, I'm probably going to make another comparison that no one's ever had before. But I'm remembering back with, because I was a big fan of Less Than Jake back in the day. And they were very good, and they were a very good ska band. And then they had this album, In With the Out Crowd, that was just their attempt at making, like, pop-punk horse shit. Which they've always been, like, sort of punk and pop-punk influence with their music. But that one was just like, you know, let's just completely forget we're a ska band and shit like that. And that's the one that you go, you know, you look back at Less Than Jake, obviously you like the earlier stuff a little bit better, but they always had good albums, and that's the one you look at and you go, but that album fucking stinks. That's an extra strength stinkeroonie. I'm trying to say is I don't think Knocked Loose seems like a band that's not going to hit us with that, oh fuck, what the fuck happened? I don't think they're going to hit us with that. But with parts like this right here, they're definitely sort of hinting at a new sound that they're trying to interject themselves into. Suffocate.
Burdened by our connection, I long for separation. In the waning glow, every breath tries hard to escape. The room is overwhelmed. Have you found your grave? Suffocate!
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. I'm gonna back it up. I want to hear that part again. That's the other thing that I hate with like all those people who are like, I don't have a personality. Can I have this one? They're just annoying because it's partially my fault. It's like the type of person I am. Is now whenever I hear that part, I always think of like, you know, the shitty TikTok I watch where I just like, damn, it's so great. You know, this is just the best song to fucking throw ass to and have a little reggaeton dance to. And you're like, you think of all those cringy fucking people and you're like, God fucking damn it. Why are you infested in my brain? But that could also mean I'm a psycho. But either way, I'm sure there's other fellow psychos that can relate with me.
I long for separation. In the waning glow, every breath tries hard to escape. The rain is over now. Have you found your grave?
Suffocate!
Hell yeah. I'm just going to let it go. Goes very hard. Slows down. I didn't compose my thoughts quick enough, so I'm not going to just let it go. But yeah, I love the whole structure of the song. Once again, just like the previous one, cuts out all the fat. Very straightforward, to the point songwriting. I always love that. I don't need a band to just muddy me down with all this extra shit. You know, what are you trying to tell me right now with your music? What are you trying to tell me? And tell me that. Get rid of all that extra static. Just tell me what you want to do right now. All right. This next one, I will say, I forget exactly how Blind Faith sounds. That one is very good. But I will say this next one, Don't Reach For Me. Oh, yeah, that's right. This next one actually has currently my favorite part of the whole album on it. But this... You know, I think with the poppy feature and the reggaeton beat, sort of that kind of overshadowed the fact that I honestly think this next one, Don't Reach For Me, is the best of the three initial songs that came out. Is it the best on the album? We still got to listen to it a little bit to figure that out. But out of the three initial ones, I actually think this one is the best, but like the whole poppy feature kind of overshadowed it and everything. But yeah, let's listen to Don't Reach For Me. Another big moment right here showing a audible shift in sound. But still, it's like on the first half, so this still feels more like an old school Knock Loose song, but giving you little nods to sort of the new direction they want to go through. But yeah, this next part, This next part fucking floored me. I almost crashed my car last night listening to this.
When your voice shall be yours from the lies you start, from the start to shine. I let you get to me. You let it get to your own. I never gave a fuck. Tell you I may yes. Tell you I may know. Eyes I'm of a cloud.
Yeah, just that. I'm gonna do it one more time. I'm sorry, guys. Just that, like, yeah, just that general, like, locked in nature of everything, and then the that guitar riff, where it's kind of like that part's kind of a breakdown, but it's also a little bit of a fake out, and then they then they kind of take you into a bigger breakdown moment and shit. But yeah, man, that shit just goes so fucking hard. Oh yeah, and the guitar riff, where I always like when you take one rhythm that, you know, the drums are like one rhythm, and then the guitar is like sort of like if the drum is like the guitar rhythm stretches over multiple measures while the drum's sort of playing the same measure each time. So just that guitar riff of just like the wow 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 wow, but like just pulling it over a measure, like 2 or 3 measures, is so cool to me. I love it so much. And also mix that with, like, everyone's doing very different things, but they all come together to be one clear thought. It's so good. And I forgot the drum part actually was so wide open and shit. That just makes it even better.
Tell you I may yes. Tell you I may know. I dream of a cleansing wave. Set me free. I return so far. No longer bound to me. And when your arms are too weak, so pull yourself back up. When your arms are too weak to reach for God, don't reach for me. No lies can spread. Come on, time, right move. I will get off your side. Don't rise for me.
Oh, do we just get a little bit of 808s? Also, I like the overdubbing monster voices. Like, I don't mind. I think I've said this probably a few times before. I don't like the overly produced albums where it just is noticeably fake, but, you know, little things here and there, like the monster voices and shit. You give me a little 808 to add effect. I like it, man. I'm listening to this shit on my commute so I don't kill myself or unalive my, I don't know. Whatever YouTube gets mad that you say. But no, all jokes aside, like, these songs are your soundtrack for the fucking day. You know what I mean? You listen to these when you're going to work, when you're having a shit day. You know, when parents just don't get you, man. You're just locked up in your room and you just need something to escape. But for real, though, it's like your soundtrack to your fucking day and shit like that. So, you know, give me that good stuff. I don't care if it sounds exactly like it does live. Just give me something good. Just don't make it overproduced.
Lies can spread. Come on, time, right.
That, I like that too. This part rules. Let's just keep it rolling. Hell yeah. You know what? I'm gonna back it up and run it back. Just run it back one more time, dude. But no, this right here is actually, to me, the sort of, you know, that halfway point. Like the fact that you have a quick little 46-second song where we'll hear it on Take Me Home. You're sort of how Don't Reach For Me ends, you know, shifts into that same sound as starting this song off. And then if you go into the next one, we'll hear it after I replay it again. You'll hear going into the next one, it kind of it has that same melody. So it's like we're taking the original vibe, going, you know, honoring that and being like, but now we're shifting into this new version of Knock Loose. So I'm going to back it up just a little bit. Hell yeah. This is Take Me Home. Dude, just this whole beginning sequence and how it's like turning into a slow roll and all this other shit. It's just, it's just a substantially more thoughtful listening experience than the previous Knock Loose albums. And all the previous Knock Loose albums are fucking great. They're all fucking fantastic. I can't tell you how many times I listened to Laugh Tracks, Different Shade of Blue, and fucking the EP. God damn it. I did this earlier. I listened to them. I didn't read anything about them. I just listened to them a bunch. So I'm just in general really bad with the names of shit. Like, I was just thinking about that while I'm watching The Sopranos. I constantly have to remind myself what everyone's names are. I can't remember the names of shit for shit. A Tear in the Fabric of Life. I literally said it earlier. I have no excuses. I'm just a sack of shit. But yeah. Yeah, man. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. The sort of slow roll for this song to like hit its big moment and shit. Just that build up. And that, bro, the sound of the sticks on the rim of the drum. Holy shit. That goes hard. Yeah. And then the, I wish I knew more about the guitar to know what he was doing, but like those notes together do something to little old me. It's funny too, actually, listening to that. I'm almost thinking of the fact that he was probably just holding a chord. Like, he's got to just be holding a chord, just hitting different chords. I would love to find out if this. My guess would be he was just noodling, and then he kind of like. Because he's literally just going, da-na-na-na-na-na-na, you know, just eighth notes. And then he hits the moment and he just kind of goes, oh, that's it. Oh, that's it.
Pull me back from all the darkness. The pain that sets aside the light. I thought I could run. I'm not as strong as I thought I was. Take me home now. No matter where I go, the dark finds out. Take me home now.
I wish I knew percussion instruments because there's something in the background going like pucka 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 pucka. But yeah, that's got to be some random percussion instrument. I like, dude. Just I feel like the attention to detail is like it's just clearly so much more than it's been on these records, and it's fun to hear, man. Because I don't think all the time. I don't know how to say this. Like, you just. I think it's the fact that a lot of hardcore bands don't get this big, so they probably don't have the time or resources to get this deep into recording process. Like, I've heard so many times bands will be like, yeah, we recorded the album in like a weekend and shit, so they don't have, it's kind of like get in, get out. I'm sure Knock Loose had a lot more time than that. I'm sure they didn't record this in a weekend. I'm sure they spent a good amount of time on this album and shit. So hearing all these little things pop up is just so cool. Hell yeah.
Over 3 hills, I soon will go. Break down the wall again! the scrubs. A total war driven by the lower class. Another notch in the system fed. One mutilation under God. You won't survive in the slaughterhouse.
Hell yeah. Good times. I'm expecting a video for that song. Cause I know, or maybe not actually. Cause honestly, this is a little bit of a short album. It's only 27 and a half minutes. They've already put out 3 music videos for it. But that one it's like it's almost like a part 2. Obviously, Slaughterhouse 2. They did Motionless in White did Slaughterhouse featuring Brian. They're doing Slaughterhouse Part 2 featuring Chris from Motionless in White. I would be shocked if they didn't put a video out for this one. But yeah, let's keep it moving. The calm that keeps you awake.
You fill your room with waves. Rounding, stuck and stay. When the sun starts to recede, burning glass reveal your grace. Nothing you can see. Forever midnight. Say every inch of the abyss. You're alone with yourself. Flash out like so reminisce. Completely divided press. Losing control. You sacrifice your peace now in order to make all the voices stay out. Losing control. You're drowning in the waves. 'Cause nothing's still can stay. What's the calm that keeps you awake? The calm that keeps you awake. What's the calm that keeps you awake? The calm that keeps you awake. Nothing simple, nothing pure. Ignoring every voice. Nothing still can stay forevermore.
That shit right there is kind of like I don't know. I wouldn't call it a gimmicky move, but it's a thing bands do. And I gotta be honest, it fucking gets me every single time.
Nothing still can stay forevermore.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. And a big thing. So that song, just good, hard hitting. I like it. Adding a little bit of variety to it, where it's kind of giving a little throwbacks to old Knock Loose shit, but giving us that little brightness and melody at the beginning. Definitely adding a a new variety to the sound. One other thing on this song I've been noticing, not a huge go pat like this album. These songs don't go too far past 3 minutes really ever. You know, Slaughterhouse was 3:03, but that's 3 minutes. But like pretty much all the other ones except Don't Reach For Me and this last one coming up, Sit and Mourn, we're not going past 3 minutes. And I think for an intense band like Knocked Loose, I think that's a really good move. Because I think sometimes bands like this, you risk hitting the audience with a little bit of overkill. Because this music's really great, but if you had me sit through like a 6-minute Knocked Loose song, I'd be like, this better be very good. Because it's gonna be emotionally exhausting. 6 minutes, if it's not the best song ever, it's gonna be emotionally exhausting. A 6-minute Knocked Loose song. So the sub 3-minute songs is a very smart move for Knocked Loose. All right, so here's this is the first of the 3 songs I believe that came out. This was our first taste of new Knocked Loose, so here we go again with Blinding Faith. This was a smart move because I think a big staple of Knocked Loose is hitting people with like, oh, that's a new sound. I think that was a big part of why Counting Worms popped off so hard, because just being able to experience a new sound, because a lot of people, I'm sure other bands have done that, but generally speaking, a lot of people, they're not really familiar with that sound. So that's going to be a new sound for many people. And, hitting people with that, it's going to pique their interest a lot quicker. So this is the same thing. Whatever they're doing out of the gate just doesn't sound like some shit I normally hear. So I'm immediately going like, well, I like that and I'm more interested. Let's go. Hell yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know. We've listened to this before on my other channel, DTL R&R. It's for shorter form, like one-off song, or what am I trying to say? Jesus Christ, I'm tired. I haven't had dinner yet. Uh, but no, I have the other channel, DTL R&R, for shorter reactions and reviews to singular songs and shit. But yeah, we talked about that before. Just fucking hits hard. Great song to pick to come back, from a break. Or they weren't even really on a break. They just, we haven't written new music in a minute. Well, no, they did. They they hit us with. I apologize, guys. My nose is so fucking itchy. I'm not digging for gold. I'm just rubbing. But, yeah. Yeah, it was just a great, we had those 2 songs that were very good. Yo, Knock Loose makes a lot of videos. I just realized that. It's so funny because a lot of hardcore bands, like, there's a good amount of hardcore bands that have been out for a minute that don't make, like, any music videos. But Knock Loose, they did, what were the 2 that came out? The Knock Loose Mother Effer. Yeah, like I said, oh yeah. Upon Lost Singles, Deep in the Willow, Everything is Quiet Now. Those were both one-offs, which was cool that they didn't. That's kind of a fun thing to make them their own little thing, and then when we get you won't go before you're supposed to not sort of double dip. That's a fun thing that they do, and it makes like looking back at their catalog like more interesting, where you have these sort of little EPs and singles and shit that are kind of their own little thing. I don't know, makes it a little bit more fun and interesting. But yeah, man, Blinding Faith fucking rips, goes big, goes hard. Let's finish it out strong. This is Sit and Mourn. This goddamn mustache. You know what it was? I should have got a shower after work. I'm still sitting in my stank. I'm still sitting in my all-day stank. Yeah, there we go. That is Sit and Mourn. Solid ending track. Feels like a good way to round out the whole album. Not necessarily a track you're gonna... Excuse me. Sorry. I've had 2 Coors Lights. My apologies. But yeah, probably not a track you're gonna hit up on repeat listens unless you're doing a full album listen. But if you're doing a full album listen, it is a nice sort of dismount for the whole album. I like it. It's like this album, just the way this album was structured, it really does sort of sonically feel like a transitional album. Like they're transitioning into a new, broader, more like a more mainstream, digestible. I feel like a lot of people can take negative, like sort of extrapolate some negative shit from that. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just thinking like Knock Loose is probably looking at a more long-term thing. They're probably trying to figure out how can we have like a broader sound while still sounding sick as fuck. And this is a really good display of that. Knock Loose is really, they really defied all the odds in my books, because I gotta be honest. A band that sounds like this, how big they are, sort of the milestones they hit, and how big we can expect them to become, it's incredibly impressive. And I would not have guessed any of this. So, yeah, I'm very excited to see what Knock Loose has in the future, what's coming up for them, and this and that. You know what I mean? I see, especially with this fucking Slipknot tour coming up, and yeah, man, but this is a great, this is a lovely offering of songs. Thank you very much, Knock Loose. This was very fun. Even the songs outside of the main releases, which it's funny, we got 27 minutes, 10 songs. They gave us 3 out of the gate. Didn't really feel, I've had it before where I remember a band I really like who's a great band, and the album was good, but the last Counterparts album, that one felt, it felt like they gave us almost too much out of the gate, where they gave us like 3 songs or so, and then the first song was kind of an intro, so you're really just like, hey, here's 6 more songs. It's almost like, hey, here's a little EP along with it. This, excuse me, this had a possibility of running into a similar problem, but by the end of it, oh shit, sorry, I've been sneezing a lot lately. Oh, fuck. Allergies suck ass. This had a possibility of running into a similar problem, but I didn't feel it while listening to this. This is probably like the 4th or 5th time I've listened to this album. And I think in the whole process, I did not feel like I was not given enough. 27 minutes on its face looks too short, but as we're listening to this, I go, that's an album. That's an album, baby. The assignment was to give me an album, and you done give me a great album. It was fantastic. If you haven't listened to it, just kidding. You've listened to it. We've listened to it together. You won't go before you're supposed to. Great album. Fucking loved it. Thank you for hanging out. I do these all the time. We stream on Sundays. We do all that shit. Until next time, have a good one. Be nice, don't be a dick. Always remember, be about it. Peace.